I went to the Thursday of New York Comic Con and I picked up a lot of comic books. Let's take a look at what I picked up, my experience there. We'll talk about all of it up next on this video from Bronzeville Comics. Hello, panelologists. This is Jim from Bronzeville Comics coming to you with another video. And before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe. You can check the description of this video for a link to my eBay store, my email, my whatnot, my Instagram. So it was time for New York Comic Con, and traditionally I take a personal day and go the first Thursday, but it wasn't without incident. So I was getting all my stuff ready on Wednesday night, you know, the bag that I put the books in and all that sort of jazz. And then I went to look for my badge and I could not find my badge. I was pulling my basement apart. My basement is a complete mess. And so I don't know where anything is, right? The good news is I did find a Star Wars 1 that I had lost. But other than that, the basement is a little bit of a disaster area. So I decided to, not stress myself and stay up all night trying to look for this. And it's one of those things when you want to try to get organized but then you have to find something. So all the places where you have things organized become disorganized. And you're in a worse place than you were before. It's sort of like as a teacher, right? I have a whole bunch of papers to grade. So I start to lay out the papers, and then the period ends, and I have to pack them all up and then get back to them again. So the organization never really fully happens. And that is one of my excuses with this basement right now, that I have a plan, and I started working on it a little bit today. But I'm going back to New York Comic Con on Sunday, so I don't have a whole lot of time. I'm actually filming this on Friday night, and I had a wedding Friday night. So, long story short, I bought another badge. Fortunately, Thursday was the only day of New York Comic Con that wasn't sold out. So I bought another badge, had to go grab it in will call, and headed to the show on Thursday morning. So I just pulled into the parking garage, headed to the Javits Center for New York Comic Con here on Thursday. There's a line. I've just been sitting here for a couple minutes, but navigating through city traffic is always fun. So I already pre-booked the parking, so that's good. And we're just kind of waiting. I don't know what the holdup is. I think it was supposed to be from 9 a.m. and it's 8:52. So I don't know if that's the holdup, but we're going to be headed to Comic-Con pretty soon. We're in the building now, down the escalator to get in line. And we have here about 40 minutes, I think, till the show opens. So we're all set. The throngs of fans here lined up about more than half an hour before the show starts. And we're underground. Fortunately, it's a nice day out, a little chilly, but no precipitation. So we just walked over from the parking garage, got our badge, and we're all set. Hey. So where are we going now? So there you see it. I went in, and I did take some footage. One of the problems, too, is I'm looking up comics. What do I need? What are fair market values? And my battery's going. And I'm standing online probably for 45 minutes. I'm waiting online. And it's hard, because I didn't have anyone there with me to talk to. It's difficult to not use your phone for 45 minutes. Let's face it. So as I was going through the show, at one point I was down to 2%. And I was able to find a wall outlet near a food cart. Anyway, so I walk in and I see Victory Comics has their setup. Victory Comics, I believe they're from Virginia. And I think it was 2, maybe even 3 years ago. I went to their first thing, and people were pillaging their back issues because they have $3, 7 for 20. You save a buck. And I got like, and this, you could look back at an old video of this. I think it is 2021. I think it's 3 years ago. I got stacks of like Silver Age action comics and things like that. And some other keys and just some things to fill and run. So I went there first. And actually, I ran into Sean from Pop Comics. He was filming. I saw the video that he dropped of running into me. And I was holding this book. This is the first book I grabbed. I've had this book a few times recently. And there are folks that disagree with me. And I'm going to just look this up, right? Because I am of the understanding that this is a book I actually, according to CLZ's information, the cover artist is Todd McFarlane. And I have had people in the comments say it's Bart Sears. I don't think it's Bart Sears. So this is one of the DC crossovers. Alien or Invasion 1. I think it was a 3-issue series, and of course it connected to everything in the DC line at the time. And it's a newsstand, which is kind of cool. But what separates this is it's a Todd McFarlane cover and 80 pages, no ads, 80 pages of McFarlane interior art there. I think 4 chapters. The 4th chapter he inked himself. So I'm going to say, and I think this does look like McFarlane. To me, Todd McFarlane cover. It's definitely Todd McFarlane interior art. Anyway, so then I was just grabbing some books. Amazing Adventures, a nice 20 center with the Inhumans. Actually, like Black Bolt and the Inhumans. Grabbed some earlier ASMs. 281. 295. At 326. 336, 340, 350. Just all ASM books. Figure ASM, not going to go wrong there. And, of course, separating this into my spec save cell. First issue special, Return of the New Gods. This is a spec book for me. First issue special 5. Manhunter. I have several copies of this. If the Manhunters are ever involved, or Mark Shaw, ooh, I'm set. Joe Simon's Green Team. Green Team by Joe Simon. I mean, basically kids, like stuff he did with Kirby. 2001, number 1. Jack Kirby. 2009 Unlimited, number 1. An Adventure Comics giant from when Supergirl was the lead of that book. These are all, those are all cell books. Oh, this is a keeper. And it's not in terrible shape. I mean, it's not in good shape, but, well, maybe it is good. Or VG minus. Adventure Comics 295, Bizarro Titano. The Kooky Super Ape. That's going in my PC. Alpha Flight 34. This is somebody's first Mike Mignola cover. A couple of Astonishing Tales with Deathstroke 33 and 34. And then I picked up a whole bunch of the... Let me just grab the whole stack of them. These are not necessarily in order. A whole bunch of Batgirl. This is the Cassandra Cain run. I had some of these in my PC, but not all of them. This is one of those books. This came out in 2000 when I had just bought a new house. And so mortgage payments took precedent over certain titles. Another title that I have most of, but I don't think I've finished, I'm close now. These are some of the later issues. I think I'm really close. Is Azrael, Agent of the Bat, 70 through 73, and Annual 3. This is also from 2000, right? Yeah, I believe so. That's PC. Then I picked up this. This is the first Stephanie Brown as Batgirl. This is a 2009 run. So that's pretty cool. Batman, lower grade, but hey, an intact, complete Batman 205. This is the trade paperback, Batman No Man's Land with its Alex Ross cover. I think the one shot has some value. Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat. This is Firestorm 21, Death of Killer Frost, and the first appearance of Louise Lincoln, who would become the second Killer Frost. This, I think, is really sharp. This goes in my press pile. It's Firestorm 24, First Blue Devil. Not a huge 9.8, but you never know if he comes to anything. So these are all from Victory Comics. I think I went back. Yeah, I had gone to them first, and then I went back to them later in the day just to dig through more for, like, filler. Geiger, 3, 5, and 6. I've decided to take on this run. So, yeah. Let's go into the PC. I'm thinking that's going to be something to kind of contend with. I think that's pretty cool title. I believe a lot in Jeff Johns. Firestorm 35, First Weasel, who was in Suicide Squad, played by Sean Gunn, and is returning for Creature Commandos. And then I got these. This I thought was pretty cool. Forbidden Worlds. These $3 a piece, 7 issues of Forbidden Worlds. 120, 128, Magic Man, 129, 134, and these are in pretty decent shape. 136, Magic Man meets Nemesis. 127, and this, I think, is Magic Man's second appearance in, what is that issue number? 126. So those are pretty cool. I'm gonna actually put those like in a kind of non-Marvel DC sale. Then I could have gotten a lot more, but I wanted to get to the end of the run of Flash. I picked up 2 copies because somebody in my Whatnot sales has been asking for $349, but I got basically, I already had, I think, 340 through 349. I have 350. These are like the last 10 issues of the Flash trial. Not the best storytelling in comic book history, but I'm kind of low-key working on the Flash run. I didn't want to go overboard. So I grabbed a few there. I think I picked up, is it 100 comics from Victory Comics? Probably pales in comparison to what Sean Pop Comics got. A couple of alternate covers for Final Crisis. So that, I think, is kind of fun. That is going to go into the personal collection. Doom Patrol 26. This is first appearance of Mr. Nobody. Part of the Grant Morrison run, if you watched the TV series. This was kind of interesting. This is DC Superstars Giant number 9. Okay. And it's the man behind the gun. Right? Now, one of these issues, one of the stories reprinted herein is a Superman story. That's kind of the first one they have. And then there's a Nighthawk. Is that the name of the character? A reprint. And then there's some sci-fi stories. I don't think there was a crime story, but I could be wrong. So I'm kind of trying to grab this run of DC Superstars. So that is going into the PC. I don't think I've seen this one before. You know? So it's just kind of, I fondly recall those reprint books from my childhood. So it's cool. And they give a variety of stories that, I mean, really, otherwise would not be reprinted. Then some issues of Dark Horse that I did not have. I'm close to the run. I don't need any of the keys. It's just, I mean, these aren't easy filler issues to find. 14, nice Michael T. Gilbert, Mr. Monster cover. Number 17, with a Roach Mill appearance. That will be appreciated by John from Bronze and Modern Gods. Issue 21. And this was definitely an anthology. It was black and white. And then issue 51. Frank Miller's Sin City story. So, that's pretty cool. That's all going into the personal collection. Then I picked up this. I'm trying to collect these DC Bicentennial covers. I should be pretty close to complete. Claw the Unconquered number 8. All the books from July of 76 cover date have that designation on them. Then I picked up a copy of Catwoman number 1. This is our first miniseries. 2 copies of Captain Atom number 1. These, I think, are both going in the spec pile. Because I think Captain Atom, I think a good chance to come to the DCU. Then I picked up a handful of issues. This might complete the runner. It's very close, of Gotham Central. I had most of these. I don't know why I didn't have these. These are from 2004. So I'm picking, I have like a pretty sizable pile already of books to go into the PC. Another run. I don't know why I didn't have them all. This is from 1992. Mosaic. With John Stewart Green Lantern. So I have my CLZ app with me, and I just kept going through, and I saw another title. I said, oh, that's a title I've collected. Do I have them all? No, I need these as Mosaic issues. There might be one more than I need. Then Green Lantern, whatever volume this is. 8. This is the Jeff Johns. Did you write this? Yeah. Issue 8. And then a Neil Adams variant for issue number 8 with Green Arrow. And then issue 14. Why I don't have these, I don't know. I actually suspect that I do have them, but I think I have like a box or part of a box that got misplaced when I was organizing my PC. So it's right around that era. Then the Green Lantern. I think I only need one more issue to have all the issues from when they restarted it in the late 70s up. So 111, a really cool Mike Grell cover with Alan Scott on it. I really like that. And then 142, I think this is the second appearance of the Omega Men. And then this John Stewart, Guy Gardner standoff in 197. I also want to work on Green Lantern 1 through whatever, but that's a lot more work. And I have to kind of commit myself to that. I was missing a couple from this Green Arrow series. I don't know why. Again, I think they might be in that same box as some of those Green Lanterns. Because I know I bought them. But whatever. Green Arrow number 1. I feel this is a really underappreciated book. It took him 40 years to get his own self-titled series. It was a 4-issue miniseries. Then Mike Grell did Longbow Hunters, and then he had his ongoing. I was missing some Captain Atom issues. I think actually at this point, I don't think this is Victory Comics anymore. There was another vendor. I was paying like about $5 a book for. I don't know why I'm missing these Captain Atoms. That was a series I enjoyed. This I don't see too often, which is a couple of issues that I didn't have of Beautiful Stories for Ugly Children. That was a DC imprint, Piranha Press at the time. Got to be a completist. And then, take a look at this. So I have this one. I need one more issue to complete the run. Let's see if I can finish the run. 200, 205, 208, 209. Run completed. That is right. Batman Legends of the Dark Knight run completed. Issue 83 and 209. Again, I don't know why I didn't have them. The 209 is probably in that same box. 83, no idea. Probably stuck to the back of something. And then Booster Gold, Volume 2, number 29. I went to see Paul with Brixco Comics. He was set up. My buddy Joe from 360 was helping him out. And I was flipping through, and he had a lot of Batmans and Detectives he got in the collection. And he has some good stuff on the wall. So I was looking for, kind of solid mid-grade for this era. And I don't have this issue, Batman 115. I'm pretty close. No, more than pretty close. This in terms of the number of books, and this in terms of the stack of cash I need to complete Batman 100 up. The biggest book I need is the biggest book, and that's 121, The First Mr. Freeze. But that's a pretty solid copy for a 10-center Batman in a bottle with giant cavemen. Of course. So that's going in my Batman collection. I got this book from Zap Comics. It's really nice presenting. It does have a popped top staple. It's possible to do something about it, but it's Strange Adventures 180. This is the first appearance of Animal Man. I do have, I believe, a 7.0 slab of this. One of the few just slabs I bought. But I wanted a raw copy, and this is kind of a spec copy as well. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Animal Man, and it's hard to find this in decent condition. Usually the ones I've seen at shows are wrecked. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Animal Man come to the DCU. Not at all. I'm trying to work on that Action Comics run to get 300 up. I just need a couple more issues. I saw some nice copies priced higher than they need to be, even though it's nice. So I grabbed this one, Action Comics 317. Just another PC book. That's from 1964. Then I found a book to add to my May 1946 collection. And I got this from Heroes Reborn. He gave me a really nice deal. Really appreciate that. And that is Human Torch number 22. This is a spring issue, so it qualifies for my May 1946. This would have been on the newsstand. Submariner's in it. But look, look at what Human Torch is doing. He's stopping these guys from stealing sugar. Now, this book is a little bit lower grade. It's kind of ripped all the way through the book, like Franco Colombo tried to get a hold of it. And the cover and every individual page is taped. It's probably 40% of the way into the book that it's ripped, but nice presenting copy. That's going to go in the May 46 collection. Then, I think it was Silver Age Comics had some nice books. And I already have at least one other copy of this, but I haven't actually logged it into my system. So it was on my checklist that I needed, and I saw this copy, and I think this is kind of like borderline, do I get it graded? I won't right now. And this is like kind of just far-flung spec. But it is something I definitely collect. And this is Adventure Comics 303. This is the first appearance of the Legion of Superheroes member, Matter Eater Lad. Now, Matter Eater Lad is just a crazy enough character for James Gunn to use. Now, he did use him, or he was mentioned in the Peacemaker TV series. And they were talking about team-ups, like with Dollman, and they mentioned Batmite at some point. But this Matter Eater Lad is a member of Legion of Superheroes in the future. So, who knows? He's kind of a ridiculous character, but this is his first appearance, so this is a nice copy. They had it graded, which I think was pretty conservative. I think it's more like an 8. They had it as 7.0. So that is pretty cool. And I also got this. This is a DC 72 book to help me fill in. It's a mid-grader, but it's pretty solid mid-grade. It's got a couple creases down in the corner here. Ghosts, number 10. Right? 20 center. I love this. Is my very young childhood when I was an emerging reader. That 20-cent logo. That is cool. Then Then another vendor, I picked up a couple books. The condition wasn't necessarily what I wanted overall. I'm trying to work on the Atom run, Atom number 27. And then another of these DC 1972 books, which is Blitzkrieg number 4, those 76 bicentennial banners. Some folks collect the Marvel 25th anniversary. I collect the DC bicentennial books. So that's kind of, just a fun little extra nugget of my collecting. Let me just put these. I want to save this one till the end. Golden Age Guru had this book. I probably overpaid for it. It's a pretty nice copy. He has it as a 9. Not necessarily going to disagree with it. Another Ghosts from 1972, issue number 5. Pretty sharp copy. I saw he had the Ghost. I'm like, let me finish that up. Then I went back and I was digging through Briscoe's boxes. And I got another 1972 book. The romance books are hard to come by. Girls Love 169. And DC 100 pager. Young Love 108. I've been working on this run just a little bit. Plastic Man number 2. There were a handful of issues around this checkerboard. And this is actually Plastic Man's son. And then the title was canceled. It was rebooted in the 70s. I'm missing just a handful of issues, maybe 3. This is issue number 2. And then I had... I started looking, we were talking about my May 46 collection, and Paul from Briscoe has helped me out before. He said, I have this and this, and we made deals. This, I think, is a pretty nice copy. It does have like a sub crease in it, but it presents really pretty well. It looks nice. And that is Captain Marvel Adventures number 61. Now notice it says May 24th. That's because Captain Marvel Adventures. Captain Marvel was by far the most popular hero at this point in time, outselling even Superman. And it came out bi-weekly. So there would have been a May 10th issue and a May 24th. So there's usually 2 issues a month. Some months have 3. Like those months where you get an extra paycheck. November this year for me. Okay, that's pretty awesome. That goes into the May 46 collection. I noticed he had this. And he had it in a slab. Not really much sales data on this. I don't know if I'm keeping it in the slab. It's a timely book, but it's a timely, funny animal book from May 46 or Spring 46, so it qualifies. Funny Frolics, number 3, 6.0 off white to white. That's pretty cool. Love these Golden Age books. If I do want to read it at some point, maybe I'll crack it out. I'm not in a hurry to right now. And that actually is right now the only slab I have from that May 46 collection. I think maybe at some point when I have most all the books and certainly all the keys, I might just do a 25-book submission because I do have some nice high-grade books from May 1946. And then Paul threw in this, and I've never heard of this. I couldn't even find reference to this. Best of Marmaduke, the enormous dog, number 1, from Charlton Comics in 1960. I went to enter this into CLZ, and they didn't even have it. Right? So, it's just kind of strange. It's the only issue. Marmaduke will be surprised when he discovers we sneaked away without him. Yeah, I'd like to see his face right now. They don't notice there's a giant dog on the back of their car as they're headed to the circus. Oh, that Marmaduke. So that's pretty cool. And then I made one more purchase. And I thought it was a pretty cool book. It's a book I've been on the lookout for, and one vendor had 3 copies. He had a lower grade copy, and he had a slightly higher grade copy slabbed. The slab was a 4.0, but he had it for almost twice what this was. I think it's like a 3.0. And this is a fairly important book, and I alluded to it earlier in the video. And I think it's issue, is it 72 or 77? It's a Charlton book, so it doesn't say. Anyway, it's Space Adventures. I think it's 77. Oh, I'm sorry, 33. No, it was a multiple of 11. This is from 1960. This is the first appearance of Captain Atom. And you could win 2 round trips to Disneyland. Disney World was not open yet in 1960. Yeah. I think it opened in 64, thereabouts. First appearance of Captain Atom, created by Joe Gill and Steve Ditko. So this is a Steve Ditko superhero creation 2 years before Spider-Man. And this means that I have all of the first appearances of the Charlton characters that DC acquired and used in their comics. Okay? Now, if you're not familiar with Charlton, you probably are familiar with some of the characters like Blue Beetle or The Question or Captain Atom. They published superhero titles in the 60s fairly briefly. They tried to reboot in the 70s. They did reprints in the 70s. And then DC acquired the rights because Dick Giordano had worked for Charlton. And I guess he had the inside track to help them secure a deal to bring these characters over to DC. And they introduced them in Crisis on Infinite Earths. And then most of the characters either had an ongoing series or a mini-series shortly thereafter. Blue Beetle had his own series. Captain Atom did. The Question did. But the original thought was, by Alan Moore, that he wanted to use these characters in a miniseries he was going to write that was going to deconstruct superhero tropes. But DC's like, hold on, we just paid money for these characters. We don't want you to kill them off and destroy them. So what he did was he slightly, and it's not difficult to figure out who's who in terms of parallels. He slightly changed the characters for Watchmen. So, The Question became Rorschach. Blue Beetle became Night Owl. Nightshade became Silk Spectre. Peacemaker became the Comedian. Peter Cannon Thunderbolt became Ozymandias. They didn't use Judo Master. And Captain Atom became Dr. Manhattan. It would have been interesting if they could have done it as an Elseworlds, but it worked out fine, wonderfully for Watchmen. I haven't yet read the kind of Watchmen's connection to DC continuity that came out a couple of years ago, but maybe I will someday. This does have a pretty big store stamp. It's got some staining on the word Captain there, and I did pay. It's got wear down at the bottom. I paid a pretty decent price for this. This book is so hard to find, though. At some point, I wouldn't mind an upgrade, but I just love this. And I love the fact that it predates Marvel's entree into superhero comic books. So Captain Atom is a Steve Ditko creation that predates Spider-Man. I think that's just really cool. And I also like the character. I like the run that DC did with him, with like who wrote it? Pat Broderick did the art. You know, that's what I alluded to when I had issue number 1 here. Cary Bates did the writing. And I think there's a better than average chance that DC will use Captain Atom in the movies with the James Gunn stuff at some point in the near future. So that's the little haul for today. Let me know what you think about the books. I'd like to, if you got to New York, I'm going to probably do another video. I'm going to do kind of a walkthrough video. I did like maybe a third of the walkthrough. See if I can do it. Going with the wife and kids on Sunday. I'm not going to really be over by the comic book section. We're going to look at everything else, the Funko Pops and the other things the kids are into. And we'll just have a good, fun family day of it. And just enjoy being at Comic-Con. My kids really are looking forward to it, so that's going to be a fun family day. So anyway, I'd like to thank you all for stopping by. You can take a look at a couple of my other videos here, and this is Jim saying until next time, enjoy your comics.